Dear students, today in this session we shall discuss new module, that is gear drives. So gears, they are toothed wheels which are used to transmit mechanical energy um, in form of rotational movement from one member to another. That is, it is a circular object which consists of number of teeth on its circumference. So if these the same arrangement of gear teeth are brought in contact with each other, then the rotation of one gear is transferred to the rotation of the adjacent gear. So here the mechanical energy can be transferred from one rotating member to the adjacent rotating member. So the adjacent rotating member we will call it as mating part. So mating, the if the mechanical energy has to be transferred, then the two gears should mate each other. That is, they should come in contact with each other. So then only we can transmit power or rotational energy. The gears are broadly classified as according to relative position of axis of the shaft on which gears are mounted, and also it is classified according to the type of gearing. So according to the axis, so here according to the relative position of axis on of the shaft on which gears are mounted, so there are mainly three classifications. One is parallel axis, intersecting axis, and non-parallel and non-intersecting axis. So in the parallel axis, the axis of the two gears will be parallel to each other. So in the below figure you can see spur gear, helical gear, and double helical or herringbone gear. So all the three gears, they are the axis of all the three gears, they are parallel to each other. So parallel means two lines, it will not meet at any point. So the distance between the two lines or the distance between the two axes is same if you measure in any point. So next type is intersecting axis. So in intersecting axis, the axis on which the shaft of the gears are rotating, they intersect each other. So in the figure you can see there is a bevel gear. So in that bevel gear, the axis um, are perpendicular and they intersect each other. So in bevel gears also there are different types: straight bevel, spiral bevel, and zero bevel. Next, non-parallel and non-intersecting axis. So in this type of classification, the axis, they are neither parallel nor intersect. They are not parallel and they will not intersect each other. So in the figure you can see there is a worm gear. So in worm gear, the axis, they are not parallel, they are not intersecting each other, they are at some other arrangement. So the different types of this gears are cross helical gear, worm gear, hypod gear. So in the below figure we have shown an example of worm gear. Next we shall see the next type of classification. So next is according to the type of gearing. So here the gearing or the mating of the gear teeth. So there are two classifications. One is external gearing and second one is internal gearing. So in external gearing, the gears mesh externally with each other and they rotate in opposite direction. So in external gearing, the gear teeth, they mesh each other externally, and they are rotating in opposite direction. If one gear is rotating in clockwise direction, then the adjacent gear, it rotates in counterclockwise direction. In internal gears, the gears mesh internally with each other and they rotate in same direction. So in the below figure B you can see that it is an internal gear, and where one gear is inside the other gear. So here the direction of rotation of both the gears are same. If one gear rotates in clockwise, another gear also rotates in clockwise direction. If one gear rotates in counterclockwise, another gear also rotates in counterclockwise direction. But in figure A, you can see that it is an external type of gearing where the gear teeth touch externally and the direction of rotation of these two gears are different. If one is rotating in clockwise direction, the mating gear will rotate in counterclockwise direction and vice versa. So next we shall see the advantages of gear drives. So it is a positive drive and is used to connect closely spaced shafts. So positive drive means there will not be any slip. So in previous classes we had studied the concept such as slip. So in belt drives we had studied the concept such as slip. Slip is the there is a difference in the speed of rotation of pulley and the belt, but in case of gear drives there is no slip. That is, um, the power generated from the driving shaft, it is uh, fully transmitted to driven shaft without any uh, loss of friction or loss of energy. It will not be there. The all the power will be transmitted, and this is called as a positive drive and used to connect closely spaced shafts. That is, when the two shafts are very close to each other, we can use gear drives. So if the two rotating shafts are very far away from each other, then we cannot use gear drives. We have to go for some other different types of drives, because gear drives will not be economical. Even the two shafts are very far away. We can use only when the two shafts or the axis of two shafts are very near. Next is high efficiency, compactness, reliable service, more life, simple operation, and low maintenance. So the gears, they have good efficiency, they are compact, they are small, and reliable service. They give good service, and they are operating for long life, and they are simple in operation and low maintenance operation. It can transmit heavier loads than other drives and can be used where precise timing is desired. So this type of gear drives, they transfer heavy loads when compared to other types of drives. So also gear drives can be used where the precise rotation of shafts is required. If you have to rotate any shaft for a precise angle, then we need to go for gear drives. Next, we shall see the disadvantages of gears. So it is not suitable for large center distances. As I said earlier, if the center distance between the two axes of the shaft is far away, then we cannot use this mechanism or gear drives. High production cost. The production cost of gears is very high. That is, the manufacturing cost is high. The chances of wear and tear of gear teeth. So when the gear teeth are operating, one gear, it will rub on the another gear during transmission of power. So when the rubbing, the friction creates between the two mating gears, and there are chances of wear and tear. Also, it produces noise during operation. So in the operation, when the gears are operating, it produces noise. So next we shall see the materials used for manufacturing of gears. So the material used for gear depends upon the strength and service conditions like wear, noise, etc. The gears can be manufactured from both metallic and non-metallic materials. Metal gears include cast iron, steel, and bronze. So metal gears are manufactured by using cast iron, steel, and bronze. And non-metal gears are manufactured by using wood or compressed paper or synthetic resins. Cast iron and steel are widely used due to its good damping properties, excellent machinability, and ease of producing complicated shapes by casting. So the cast iron and steel are used widely in industries because it have good damping properties. Damping properties is absorption of loads, absorption of shock, excellent machinability. That is, we can machine to the required size and shape, and ease of producing complicated shapes. So even if there are complicated shapes, we can easily manufacture. Next is phosphor bronze. It is widely used for worm gears in order to reduce the wear of the worms. So Here in the last type we can see that there is a worm gear. um, the gear below which is present is known as worm, and the gear above is present is worm gear. So the name worm is given because the bottom gear, the gear which is below, it will look like a worm. So that is why they have given the name as worm gear. So these are the different materials used for manufacturing of gears. Next, we shall see the failures in gear teeth. So there are two main reasons for gear tooth failures. So one is breaking of tooth due to static and dynamic loads, and another one is surface destruction. So breaking of tooth due to static and dynamic. So when the forces such as static forces or dynamic forces are acting on the gear tooths, there are chances of failures, and also the surface destruction is also another reason for the failure of gear teeth. The failure of gear teeth can be controlled by modifying values of module or face width. Due to rolling and sliding action of the gear teeth, the following types of surface destruction or tooth wear may occur. So we shall see what is module and face width in next sessions. So the failure of gear teeth we can control by modifying the values of module and face width due to rolling and sliding action of gear teeth. So when the gears are operating or rotating, there will be rolling and sliding action, and following types of surface destruction or tooth wear may occur. So the first one is abrasive wear, second one is corrosive wear, third one is pitting and scoring. So abrasive wear, it is a type of failure which is due to the presence of foreign materials in the lubricant that can scratch the tooth surface. So when the two gear teeth are operating, when they are rotating with each other and transmitting motion, we have to lubricate it by supplying some suitable oil. So if we are supplying suitable oil, the chances of friction is eliminated, and the wear and tear of the gear is also eliminated. So the abrasive wear occurs when there is some foreign particles present in the oil and it rubs the surface of the gears. So when it is rubbing the surface of gear, there is a chances of abrasive wear, and due to this the failure of gear teeth maker. Next is corrosive wear, a failure due to chemical reaction on tooth surface. So corrosive wear or corrosion is um, type where iron gets reacts with the oxygen present in the atmosphere and forms iron oxide. If we keep any cast iron material for long time exposed to environment, then it will react with the oxygen present in the atmosphere and it forms iron oxides, and these iron oxides get separated from the base iron material, and they come out in form of chips. So this type of wear also can be observed in gear teeth. So next is pitting. It is a failure, fatigue failure due to repeated application of stress cycles. So fatigue is applying and removal of continuous loads. Fatigue is application and removal of loads, and this is done simultaneously or continuously. So when this process is being done, there are chances of pitting failure. Next is scoring. So it is a failure due to metal contact due to the breakdown of the oil film. So when the as I said, we have to supply lubrication when the gears are in contact and when they are operating. So when the two gears are touching each other or mating each other, and at that point if the lubrication oil is not present, then there are chances of friction between where both gears, and it causes scoring or wear of gear teeth surfaces, and this causes to the failure, gear teeth failure. So next is different standard systems of gear teeth that are used. So the first one is 14.5 degree composite system, 14.5 degree full depth involute system, 20 degree depth involute system, and 20 degree stub involute system. So these are the different types of uh, gears used in manufacturing. Thank you guys.